What the children have to do for this slow writing homework is they have to write about this picture here. And usually what the children would do when they write about something is just write the first thing that comes into their head. But with slow writing, what we're asking them to do is slow down a little bit and consider the type of sentence that they're using. And as you can see, there are 5 different sentences to do. So sentence 1 is going to be a question sentence. Sentence 2 is going to be a statement sentence that ends with a full stop. Sentence 3 is going to use because as a conjunction that joins 2 parts of the sentence together. Sentence 4 is going to have 2 adjectives in it that are separated by a comma. And sentence 5 is going to start with a time connective opener. So if I just have a look at the picture again and move the picture up a little bit so I can see the slow writing, I'll pull in what I've written here. And obviously I've typed this because it's a bit difficult to handwrite on my screen. But what we'd be looking for is each sentence that the children write, they would orally rehearse it first. So I'd think of a few questions that I might want to ask about the picture. And I'm going to ask first, how could this have happened? So I make sure I write that down, put my question mark at the end because it's a question, and I always make sure I start any sentence with a capital letter. So that's my question. So I'm going to put a tick in the box there. And sentence 2 was a statement. So a statement is what the children would usually be reading in their reading books. Starts with a capital letter, ends with a full stop. It just tells you about something. So the sea parted on either side of us and the cars were driving through. So that's a statement sentence. So I make sure it ends with full stop, make sure it's begun with a capital letter as well, and then I'm going to tick that one because I've done that one. And then sentence 3 is going to have a because conjunction in it. So first part of my sentence is going to be somebody must have used magic, and the second part of my sentence is things like this don't happen every day, and I'm joining those 2 sentences up with a because conjunction. So I make it one long sentence now. So it says somebody must have used magic because things like this don't happen every day. So I'm happy with that sentence. It starts with a capital letter, ends with a full stop. So I'm going to put a tick in there because I've done that one. And then sentence 4 has 2 adjectives that are separated by a comma. That's my 4th sentence there. So I'm going to describe the waves, I think, because that will be the most dramatic. So I've decided to go with huge and imposing as my 2 adjectives that are describing the waves that are in the picture. If you remember what the picture looked like, it looked like this. And as you can see, the waves are really, really tall there, aren't they, at either side of the road. So pull that back up again. So I decided to put the huge imposing waves towered above us as we passed them. So we've got huge and imposing there, our 2 adjectives, and we've split them up with our comma. The sentence makes sense, and we've got a capital letter at the beginning of it, full stop at the end of it. So that one's been done. So I'll give that one a tick. And finally, the last sentence has to start with a time connective opener in today's slow write. So because it's come at the end, I'm going to choose finally. So I'll put my comma after the time connective. So I've got a capital letter at the beginning of it. So I've got finally we reached dry land and the waves crash back down behind us, and end with a full stop. So I put my tick in there. And what you usually end up with when you follow the structure of the slow write, no matter what it is you're writing about, is a paragraph of work that you're quite happy with and sounds quite good. So the whole thing is, how could this have happened? The sea parted on either side of us and as the cars were driving through. Somebody must have used magic because things like this don't happen every day. The huge imposing waves towered above us as we passed them. Finally we reached dry land and the waves crashed back down behind us.